The fact that we still have not heard from Justin Baldoni's attorneys following the judge dismissing all of his claims against Blake Lively, that's very telling. And she is marching full steam ahead with her claims that are still at play against him. Hello, my fam. It is Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your number one source for everything It Ends With Us saga. The saga is tasting rather bitter today. As I've shared with you previously, Judge Lymans did give Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties the ability to file a second amended complaint, but he's only letting them move forward with 2 of their original 9 claims of action against her and her husband and her publicist and the New York Times. It is possible that Justin Baldoni may not file an amended complaint and is just going to move to defense mode, defending himself against her claims of sexual harassment and retaliation. That is still very much at play here. But as I've also speculated, it's possible that she might consider today's W such a big win that she will drop her claims against him voluntarily. Because if she doesn't, the judge still has not ruled on his motion to dismiss. And a very similar outcome could happen. Judge Lymans might decide most of her claims against him are also perhaps factual, but not illegal. That's basically what happened today. The judge did not deny a lot of what Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties claimed. The judge just said it's not illegal. Therefore, since the claims don't hold water, I'm not even going to present this to a jury. It's not substantial, and there were some instances that the judge claimed they didn't express themselves well enough. I roll. Watch all my videos from earlier today to be fully caught up. I covered everything. I thought it was important to hear the judge in his own words. And now it's business as usual for Blake Lively and her husband and publicist. They just filed a reply in support of her motion for sanctions against the Baldoni Wayfarer parties. Specifically, this is regard to her request for Rule 11 sanctions. A Rule 11 sanction is a penalty imposed by a court on an attorney or unrepresented party for violating the requirements of Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11. Rule 11 outlines the responsibilities of attorneys when signing, filing, or advocating for pleadings, motions, and other papers in court. If these requirements are not met, the court can impose sanctions. Let me simplify that for you. As I've already covered, Team Blake Lively argued, the Baldoni parties are not relevant to the claims at the center of this litigation. Therefore, their group pleading is not relevant here. Additionally, the Baldoni parties have been misusing the court system, flooding the docket with motions. Just attempt to influence the media and gain headlines, they argue. Plus, Blondie and crew claim that the Baldoni Wayfarer parties want to delay this process and cause her unnecessary legal fees. The Wayfarer parties already responded. I covered that as well. They said they were well within their legal rights and did nothing wrong. Not so, they claim today. Moments ago, Team Lively Reynolds Sloan says, in their half-hearted opposition, the Rule 11 plaintiffs do not even attempt to demonstrate any factual or legal basis for their claims, much less dispute that the claims were brought for the improper purpose of seeding harassing media narratives against Miss Lively. They do not defend their claims, and they do not defend their purpose, effectively conceding that their claims are baseless and their purpose is improper. The crux of their argument is that because their claims are subject to dismissal in Miss Lively's Rule 12 motion and were, in fact, dismissed earlier today, they cannot be sanctioned for bringing them. This is how, of the moment, this latest court filing is. They acknowledge the judge's ruling and are taking it a step further. Their argument is self-evidently absurd because if accepted, says Team Lively, it would mean that Rule 11 sanctions would be unavailable precisely when they are most needed, when a claim is so lacking in legal or factual merit that it must be dismissed on the pleadings. The Rule 11 plaintiffs appear to believe that they should be able to levy baseless claims in federal court, accompanied by a full court press in the media designed to eviscerate the character of their opponent. Here, a woman claiming she was sexually harassed and retaliated against in a brutal, covert, digital and media campaign that continues to this day. The language they are using is stronger than that in recent filings. They are playing the part of the victor. Team Lively continues. The Wayfarer parties brush aside concerns about frivolous causes of action, asserting that discovery and motion practice will sort out what is and not viable in the 224-page first amended complaint, shifting their Rule 11 obligations to Miss Lively and the court. The Rule 11 plaintiffs are not only wrong on the law, their arguments are also offensive to the administration of justice. Clutching my imaginary pearls. First of all, kudos to her team for acting so quick. And their egos and heads are so entitled, even more so now. Ginormous. Oh my God. I can barely function right now, y'all. Injustice gets me. Their argument just moments ago to the judge continues. The Wayfarer parties conflate unsuccessful claims with sanctionable claims, as if these two things are mutually exclusive. Of course, not all meritless claims are sanctionable, but the fact that a claim is meritless does not mean it cannot simultaneously be sanctionable. In all cases, plaintiffs must have an objectively reasonable factual and legal basis and a proper purpose for suing in federal court, and the Rule 11 plaintiffs have neither. Remarkably, the Rule 11 plaintiffs' opposition does not argue otherwise. Even now, 6 months after filing an amended complaint, having faced motions to dismiss Rule 11 safe harbor letters and sanctions motions, the Rule 11 plaintiffs do not and cannot identify the alleged extortionate threats to the Wayfarer parties, or the contractual or economic relationship the Rule 11 plaintiffs had with William Morris Endeavor, or what connection they had with any contract to support the breach of the implied covenant claim. Even under the Rule 11 plaintiffs' view that it is acceptable to assert admittedly frivolous claims in the hopes that discovery makes them non-frivolous, each of the foregoing facts would necessarily be within their personal knowledge by their very nature. Worst of all, the First Amended complaint has been used as the base material to publicly lambast Miss Lively, elevating its allegations beyond the merely frivolous to the downright abusive. The Rule 11 plaintiffs have absolved themselves of their Rule 11 obligations, have utterly failed to police themselves, and have used the federal court process to wage a toxic media war against Miss Lively. They have had many opportunities to change course and have refused to do so. In their opposition, the Rule 11 plaintiffs have made no attempt to provide any legitimate basis for their claims or articulate a proper purpose for bringing them. Accordingly, this court should accept the Rule 11 plaintiffs' concessions that they lack any legitimate factual or legal basis for the challenged claims and impose appropriate sanctions on them and their counsel under Rule 11. Boom. Thoughts? Let's discuss in the comments.